All right, everybody, we're going to bring in our next speaker. And give me 1 second here to bring her on. Hello, Kiran, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, doing great. Thank you for joining us. I hope you are ready to go. I know we've been at it for a few hours now already this morning, so I hope you've been able to tune in and listen to the other ladies as well.
I have, and I'm going to share my screen, so I don't know if you can see it already.
Yep.
There it is.
I'll pull it up. So I'll go ahead and jump off out of your way, and you can go ahead. And when you're done, I'll jump back in and we can chat.
Awesome.
Right.
Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well today. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching all of us. I hope you've been able to get some great points from the ladies that have been on earlier. My part of the session is about growth and development. And what I wanted to do was really talk about how we have grown within as a company, and myself as a branch and as an area. So my area for first option has been in Georgia mostly. I do have a few areas outside of Georgia, but main growth has been in the state itself. So I wanted to share some of the steps that I've taken. But as you grow your business, regardless of your position, regardless of what you identify within the industry or even outside, you can actually take these steps and use it for growth within. So the very first thing that we did was identify. We have to identify what you're trying to achieve, what you have currently in place, and what you need, and how will you get there, and who all is going to be involved in this growth strategy of yours. So that is definitely has to be the first steps as you move forward in the growth process. What we decided that we wanted to grow within was first of all, a strong culture. So I want to talk a little bit more about culture, because I know that is a word that gets thrown out around a lot. Everybody wants a great culture. They want culture in their company, in their office. They want everybody to like the culture, but what does it all entail? So one of the first things that we did was we wanted to create a family environment. Within a family environment, and you just heard actually everybody that's talked so far talk about the environment within their companies. So we do have family members working in our offices as well, but along with that, anybody that we bring in, we invite them to our homes, we invite them into our offices, and we make them part of our decisions. We make them part of the company as much as we can. One of the other ways to do that is to invite their families. So in the past, not during quarantine, unfortunately, as much, but during the past, we've actually invited our families, our employees' families over to our homes, not just for the holidays, just for any time. When we're celebrating one of the team members, if they're celebrating their successes, especially during the time frames when awards are being handed out, you want the families to know what that person is doing within the company. We try to also post pictures of them online. We try to identify who are part of the family. So the kids, that's really huge, especially for parents right now. We are working full time all the time, even with the kids being at home or being in school, wherever they may be. It's just constant work that is happening. We might be sitting on the couch, but at the same time, we're on our phones, we're on the laptop, we're doing something or the other. So the kids really need to define and I understand, what you're doing and who you're going to be around all the time, right? So significant other, the spouses, your parents, anybody that you live with needs to know this stuff. So family environment was a very big deal for us. And when you come into our office spaces today, you will notice it doesn't matter who you're there to see, you will have multiple people in the office going, hello, welcome, can I help you? They're always trying to help each other out because they know that tomorrow if somebody comes for them, the office teammates are going to do the same exact thing. And you want that that loving environment. So when somebody comes in, especially when they're borrowers or if they're different partnerships that are coming in, they feel that love within the company already. So family environment is very important for us. The next thing we asked was for constructive criticism. With constructive criticism, you want the good and the bad, but you definitely want to be able to have a platform where your team can come together and actually share their thoughts with you, share their concerns with you, share what's good with you. So that way you can go to the next step of improving what you have to do. So you want to have constructive criticism, you want to allow for grievances, but you want to definitely support that it is constructive, because at the end of the day, our goal is to improve ourselves, and we want to always look at that next level up, right? So if your team is bringing in the actual problems to you or whatever they did finding that can be improved, also ask for them to provide a solution as well. Now, with the solution, the good thing is you'll have a buy-in from the team. They're going to be the ones that are there that's going to say, okay, this was what was defined that was not working for me, but this is how we can make it better. If you have that team buy-in already, your solutions will actually work. So whatever you define the solutions to be, right? And then communicate throughout the process. So these were the problems that we were having, or this was the improvements that we wanted to make. These are the steps in place. Now, nothing happens overnight. And I'm hoping that everybody knows that already, but you want to identify that as well. You want to say, hey, we got this, where we know that it's not going to happen overnight, but what we are going to do is step 1, step 2, and move on and move forth. And as you are doing these steps and as you're putting the stuff together, you're actually acknowledging it. We've been able to complete phase 1. We are now starting phase 2. As phase 1 was completed, we did define some of these items. And for the next phase, we're improvising a little bit, or we're adding a couple more things that didn't work out with phase 1, and then go from there. As your team understands and relates to this information, they're actually going to be more supportive. They're going to allow for the solutions to come into place. They're going to support the solutions in place that you have that you want to implement. And then as it's happening, also get that feedback from them at all times. For us, we've tried doing this in multiple ways. We've had surveys go out. We do Zoom calls to ask for options and ask for people's opinions and how things are being set up. The biggest thing is always that as you are bringing in the solutions, whether it is a task, whether it's a piece of technology, or in recent times, it's bringing in new people to your team. You want to make sure that the older team and the newer teams, everybody's kind of collaborating as much as possible, because that is going to help your growth strategy. It's going to help you grow furthermore. And it's going to make sure that as you are implementing these changes, everybody's on the same page. There are going to be hiccups, there always are, but as long as you're there to support as much as you can, that's going to be the best route there. And then you want to empower your team. Here are the solutions, here are the phases, this is what we're doing. Now you go implement it. Help us implement these things. The more the teams, and when I say team, it includes you yourself as well. It always has to. Everybody has to do it together, right? All hands on deck is one of our mottos in our group at our office, anyways. But if everybody together is working on those solutions together, you're going to be able to bring that culture together. It is going to feel like a solution that everybody came up with. Right. One of the other things that we've done is have community involvement. So it's to really identify the cultures that you already have in place. So when I say cultures, I do mean we all come from different parts of town. We all come from different backgrounds. We speak different languages. In our office, we speak over 6 languages, for instance. And it's something that we're very proud of. But to understand the mindset of the team, you have to get involved in the community. So whether it's something that the team is already involved in, or if it's something brand new that you want to share or try out, it doesn't matter. But it's got to be something that you guys do together. So for our group, we participate in certain events every year. One of the ones that we participate is in Feed My Starving Children. It's a packing event. We go to the facility, we pack, we take our realtor partners, we take any partners actually that want to join us. We take our entire staff, as many people as will come, and we go to the facility, we pack for 2 hours. We have fun, we sing, we dance. We try not to mess things up too much there, but it's something that everybody enjoys together. And it's something that we look forward to every year. Unfortunately, we missed it in March because it happened right before quarantine hit, but we're looking forward to the next packing session as they come back around. But now every year people are waiting for that. They're waiting because now our partners want to see it. Our employees want to see it. They want to bring the kids. They want their family involved in these things. So whatever you define as a community, you want to make sure that your team is part of the community, whether it's with their families, without their families, with their partners, whoever it may be, that you're all hands on deck and you go together as one. Now, when you go together as one, you'll notice it could be even like an organization meeting that you're going to, like a NAREP event or an MBAG event. It could be any of the conferences that are held. If you go together as a team, you will no longer have to worry about having to present yourself and sell yourself. That synergy will show itself. It'll tell people that this group is coming together and they're ready. They're having fun. They love what they're doing. They enjoy the team that they're working with. And look at this, they've got family with them. So their families are enjoying this. That is the culture you want at the end of the day in your office space. That's the culture that you want, or at least that we wanted in our office space, and that we're excited that we do have this with us. Well, so the next item I want to talk about is diversity and inclusion. So what does diversity mean and what does inclusion mean? One of actually our HR person, Hillary, she has this quote in her office: diversity is getting invited to the party, inclusion is being asked to dance. And if you think about that, if you think about what that means, it makes you really, really wonder. So diversity in today's time frame, I mean, it has to be a trickle down effect from the top. So leadership has to support it. And of course, we're seeing this in our industry now. We're seeing the diversity around us all the time. If you go to any conference, especially like the one that we're on today, you'll see the different types of people that are available, that are talking, they're speaking, they're sharing their views, they're sharing their experiences. And that's really, really important. So if you can implement that same items, the same thought process within your companies, within your office space, within your teams, and as you grow, you'll notice that it obviously brings different and new business. It brings new thought processes, and then it just brings a different feel to the entire environment. Right. And you have to acknowledge and you have to honor the culture. So whether it's celebrating an event, a special holiday, not just birthdays, but holidays within the cultures, that is going to become part of it. It's all going to become part of that. And then you want to encourage an environment where people feel that they are heard and they're respected and they're welcomed. Their suggestions are welcomed, their changes are requested, that they've requested are welcomed, and you do something about it. So you want to acknowledge that at all times. And growth as a minority, as a woman, has been a very big deal to me. So one of the things that we've done, we've really focused within the Hispanic community. I myself, I am from Pakistan. I was born in Pakistan. I was raised in Georgia. And I speak 2 different languages already. But for me to understand my culture was pretty easy. But as we went ahead and we decided to grow across the board as a company, we defined the culture within the Hispanic community. We met people, we learned about the culture, and really realized, that a lot of people have said in some of the earlier sessions, you have so much in common that you had no idea you had. Even though we come from different backgrounds, our thought processes are very similar. We are wanting this culture, this environment to do business with people with like-mindedness, right? So they love working with us because we can speak the language. We can identify with them, which is really big and important part. And you want to do something similar, regardless of which community you go into. You want to identify the culture. You want to understand how they work, how they think. So as you grow internally and as you diversify, you're including all of those mindsets within your group, which is going to be very important for you. And again, that takes you back into the community. So as you define the cultures that you want to work with or welcome and understand, you're going to join those events. You're going to those particular organizations that host those events. You're going to attend the seminars. You're going to go with your family. You're going to include your work family and your home family together to understand and learn more. So that is what some very important items there. The next part, right, having a little difficulty there, is your support system. So as you grow within your team, you want to make sure that your support system, your internal support system, meaning the people that you work with next to you all the time, they're growing with you. That's going to be one of the very big points. If anybody that wants to work with you or anybody that wants to go into a company, they want to go to a company where they can grow. So if you have the ability to show them what their next steps within your group can be, you're going to have new hires come in, and you're going to be able to maintain those hires as you help them grow. So one of the things that we do internally is that we look for team managers. If you come in from the sales position, you might start off as a LOA, the loan officer assistant, then you get licensed and move into a loan officer, and then you want to grow a team. So if you're ready to grow a team, that's something that we're going to help you with. We want you to grow a team, because why would we want you to go away and grow teams somewhere else where we're the ones that we want to support you throughout the process. So that is one of our strategies. That is one of not just a strategy, but something that is dear to us, that we want to make sure that the growth opportunity is there. And then we're going to teach you all the steps to becoming that next position. So one of our most recent growths that we had in the company is actually one of our old loan officer assistants went to processing, and now she's a junior underwriter for us. That is the track that she wanted to go, and I'm hoping she's enjoying it. But that is where we're taking her, taking her next steps. And it's really exciting to see somebody grow within the company, so they can say, hey, I've been here since day one. I did this, and now I'm up the ladder to these next steps. And when people hear things that this company is doing for you as an individual or as for your team members, they want to be part of that community. They want to be part of that culture. Some of the things that we've done as also a support system is when one person wants to join an event and attend an activity or whatever it may be, we attend in numbers. So you will see all of us right behind that person. And it could be something that we've never been to. Our teams, they ask each other. We collaborate a lot across with each other, and it could be an event that nobody's ever heard of. We had no idea it existed, but if one person brought it up, and everybody else goes right on board, sign us up, and we'll all be there. You have to have that mentality that we will support each other through whichever events it may be. In the past, we've done walks where we've actually gone with our banners and our shirts, and we've done a walk as a team done a walk. As you can see on the slide right here, one of our loan officers, this was a passion for her, so we did something like this with the foster friends there. We've done so many different events with that are community related, that you want to make sure that your team is happy about that. That's something that they wanted to do, and now they've got a whole stack of people behind them supporting them, not just to close a loan, but to also be involved in what their passions are. Right, so you have to have that, and then you have to have a platform for conversation. So where, especially during quarantine, it was very difficult to meet in person. So how else are you able to communicate with each other? So one of the things that we've done was basically created a WhatsApp group. Everybody has a WhatsApp, and we just had our sales team and our processors on this conversation, nonstop conversation, by the way, just asking questions, and everybody just came on together as one family. And they were answering everybody's questions. Obviously, the ones that didn't know the answer didn't answer the question, but you would definitely want to make sure that the ones that are able to participate and able to contribute to the conversation are available. And it didn't have to be from a manager. It could be from another loan officer, sharing their experience from a process that they've already gone through, or sharing guidelines about what they already know. And as you know, in the last few months, so much has been updated, so much has changed continuously, that we're still learning. What worked 3 months ago actually doesn't work anymore right now because of our current situation. Will it always be like this? No, of course not. But currently, you want to be updated as much as possible. So we used a platform. We found one that worked for everybody, and then we just went with it. So you would definitely want to assign, whether it's one or two people that are assigned to create the platform, or monitor it, if you will, or you open it up where it's unmonitored, but everybody has access to it and it's active. Somebody's always constantly responding. Right. One of the things that we've done recently is, of course, hire a lot of people. And that's been across the board. I know everybody's hiring. And the reason for the hiring isn't just because, you want to hire, but it's also to create a support system for your staff at play already. The long hours that we're working, the time frame, that's constant. It's just been so constant. Amount of work that we've been doing. We want to make sure that as we're growing, we're bringing in people to help us be part of that support system, be part of that solution. So as you're doing that, you want to make sure you bring in people that are part of your culture, that can attach to your culture. So how we did that was basically we're cross interviewing. So it doesn't matter that I'm hiring from one team or a second team or a third team, but all the managers are coming together and saying, hey, come talk to this person with me, see what you think. Do you think they'll be a good match? And you do want to have that process within your teams, because it'll make sure that you're making good decisions, of course, and there's always a good match for you that way. And as you bring in new people, they identify, they know that, hey, this is a platform where I can actually go to anybody for help, because as you come in new in the business, you are going to learn a lot. Week 1, maybe 2, maybe in the first month, a lot of times it's so much information that's coming your way that you don't know where to go anymore. So you want the new people that you're bringing on board to have a place where they can relate to. They can go to multiple people at the same time. For some of our new folks, we've created a buddy system. We've just basically come to a point in time and said, hey, this is your first go-to person. And once you're done with that person, or if that person's unavailable, then go to these people and they will be all here available to help you. There's a lot of great platforms for this as well. Technology, go ahead and go to the next slide. Technology has been one of our greatest perks right now. So one of the platforms that we're using right now is Microsoft Teams. It allows for us to put up our training sessions, which we do weekly. So it could be about product knowledge. It could be a Q&A. It could be about income training. It could be about whatever they want to talk about. Our staff tells us what their needs are, and we define a PowerPoint presentation, or we define a presentation, and then we present it to them every week. You want to have that consistency, because right now, like we were saying, like I said before, things are changing constantly. So the one thing that you can do is try to stay up ahead of everybody, or at least get ahead of what's the changes that are getting implemented. Now, one of the other things that you want in technology is automation. So you hear about marketing, you've heard about all the different CRMs that are out there. And then to the ladies that have spoken before, they highlighted, what to do with the data that you have. What do you do with the leads that you have? Well, right now you only have 24 hours in one day. So in order to actually achieve everything possible, you have to have automation set up. You have to have a CRM that will connect with your leads for you. At least get you set up in that process, so that way as you move through it, you know that somebody's connected with them. And of course, your borrowers will know, your leads will know that it's automated. They know that you're not the one physically typing in the information every day, but it's a connect. And it's much better than losing all connections with your current leads right now. So you definitely want to have some sort of an automation process. We use a great CRM system, Total Expert. It allows us to do multiple things. So we can create websites for listings. We can create drip campaigns. We can, we've actually placed all of our social media pictures and images on this platform. So our loan officers and our loan officer assistants can go in and share that on their social media platforms. So one place where the entire group can go and just grab things as needed and then implement it wherever they may want. So it's ready for Instagram, it's ready for Facebook, it's ready for LinkedIn, it's ready for emails. If you'd like to send out an email campaign, it's all ready to go for you guys. And that's key, because now you're not spending 4 hours of your day trying to figure out how to connect with leads that you just cannot get on the phone with, or it's just something that you want to do. You've already talked to them and it's time to just keep repeating and touching base with them. So automation is really, really important. Another automated system, it's our POS. Apply online. I mean, where do you not see that nowadays? If you don't have a platform that you're using right now where a borrower can go in or a realtor can send to your borrower on your behalf and apply online, you're missing out. There are people, as you're working late, they're working late as well. We see applications come in at all times of the day and night. It just shows you that there's so many people out there right now that just, the minute if they have a few minutes, if they have a moment, they will go online and they'll type in their information and get it to you. Right? So with our POS system, it's been great. It does so many different things for us automatically. It puts our borrower on a drip campaign for us. It puts it into our LOS for us. It just plugs in information in the right places, so that way when we are ready to work on that lead, our system is ready to go to the next step. We don't have to worry about manual entry. We don't have to worry about manually pulling this or doing that. Everything is automated for us. And that will help I mean, as far as sales is concerned, automation will just streamline your process. So you definitely want to look into technology in that sense. Some of the new resources and changes that are happening as a company, as a branch, as a team, you definitely want to keep reviewing. So we heard our sponsors just right now talk about hybrid closings. That's huge. Not being able to leave home, but still be able to close on a loan. I mean, March when it first hit, I know a lot of companies were still figuring things out and how to do things. And we were actually in the process of figuring this out ourselves. And now we've launched it ourselves, and it's great. It's exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking too, because you don't know how things might go or might not go, but it's working. So if you are always ahead of that, if you are constantly implementing the new resources available, new changes that are in the marketplace, the new technology that's available, that's all part of retention too, right? So you want to make sure you have those things availability. Integration with our LOS. We've had about 6 teams join us in the last year or so. And everybody that's come on board has said, what is with your Encompass? Why is it set up the way it is? It does everything for you. We have designed our Encompass to work for us as a company, work for us as our team. It is designed exactly with the way things that we wanted to be done with it. And that is something that as a company that was decided. So if you're using your LOS system, you want to make sure that you design it to your capabilities. You design it to the way you want it to program for you. You design it where it is being used with the best capabilities for your team. That is going to be one of the very big important things for technology to happen. And that results in efficiencies. So if your LOS can do everything that you wanted to do, your turnaround times will speed up. Now, keeping in mind that the business is doubled or tripled, or for whatever businesses you guys have been increasing, you'll notice that turn times are obviously affected. But with the efficiencies in place, you should see those things come back down. Right now, we're back at a 48-hour turnaround time in underwriting, which is amazing for us. We used to be 24 hours or less, so we're almost there. But with our system in place, it's allowing us to go back to where we were. And then, of course, training. You have to train every time the changes are made within technology. You have to put up some training together. It could be very simple. It could be something about pulling credit, or the way AUS is run, or the way pricing engines are run. It doesn't matter what it is, but the minute you add a button, the minute you add another feature, you want to make sure that your teammates know, that your company knows. And again, it's probably part of one of the solutions that were identified in the beginning. So you definitely want to make sure that you come back and you train on those as much as you can. The next part I want to talk about is professional and personal development. You have to have both professional and you have to have personal development when you're growing your team. And they do go side by side and hand in hand. But I'm going to define a few key points for personal development. You have to acknowledge the ones that are actually doing amazing. It's not that everybody's not doing amazing, but we have people within our teams that go above and beyond every single day. And you know it, you can see it. The new folks can see it. The older ones know about it. And you want to acknowledge that, whether it's through a social media platform or whether it's within the company, however it may be. You definitely want to acknowledge that. One of the other things that we've done is provide coaching classes for our team. The classes basically help develop them professionally. It also helps them develop personally. It helps them streamline their own processes, time management, how to promote themselves better, how to do more in marketing, and things of that nature. So that comes back into training and product classes next. We're doing this on a weekly basis. We also have monthly trainings on new products, and you want to do something similar. So we have a Zoom call every Wednesday at 11. Our entire sales team is aware of that. And then, of course, building managers from within, like I mentioned before. You have to teach different angles of the business, and you want to make sure that they're constantly learning. But there's so much part of our business that people don't realize. And it could be simple as P&L management to just understanding what margins are. It doesn't really matter what it is, but you want to constantly be teaching your future managers. Your personal development goes back into bringing family in. It talks about, work-life balance. So during quarantine, we talked about, or we actually held Wind Down Wednesdays. We invited everybody from the entire company to join us on a Zoom call. We're celebrating all the different celebrations, the holidays, like I mentioned before, Cinco de Mayo. It doesn't matter what it is. We want to make sure that our staff knows that we're celebrating with them, even though we may not be next door to them, or we may not be in the same place as them. Right. And then you have to redefine and readjust to this every single time. So just because, we're in quarantine right now, we weren't able to have a barbecue during the 4th of July. But what else could you have done instead of that? So a virtual barbecue, if that's what you wanted to do, or just having phone calls or talking to people. There's so many different ways you can go about that. We have a processor. My processor actually is expecting. So we hadn't seen her throughout the quarantine process. And one day we just called her on Skype and we walked through the office with her so everybody could see her again. And those things are important because that's part of your culture that has to be part of you. And as you're authentic with it, the people that you work with will notice that, and they will actually love to see you with that. So that is actually all I have for my presentation right now. I don't know if I didn't see any questions or anything, but I think Mitch, I'm like probably, yes, love the culture. I'm probably at the tail end. I tried to speak as quickly as I could. But that's what I have on my growth and development and how we've been able to grow successfully with being a minority, being a woman, and adding all the little characteristics that I've shared with on my PowerPoint. Oh, can't hear him.
All right. So sorry, I was muted.
There you go. No wonder.
Yes, you did awesome. I really appreciate it. I really, like I said, I love the culture that you're building there with, a lot of people are starting to realize that business is family. And, we spend, a third of our lives or more doing business. So with the people that we work with, so it's important that we have good relationships with them, and I think you highlighted how to make that happen in, anybody's business. Unfortunately, your slides weren't working. So if you can send that to me, I will send that. I'll send that out to everybody so that they can, review it. As Great. They, a lot of people go back and rewatch, the videos. So we'll put that in there so they can review it. So
I will definitely. I'll do that.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, Mitch, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing, Alan?
I'm good. Hey, I want to start off by saying that you guys did a phenomenal job. To be able to put this together at a time like this right now, with everything that's happening with the pandemic and the capacity issues, I mean, it was amazing. Every time I open up social media, I'm looking at one of the videos of the girls, and it's just exciting to be a part of it and to be able to be a part of it and contribute towards it. Just a little quickly,
right, yeah,
I don't want to take a lot of time. Just a little quickly, I wanted to talk a little bit about First Option. So, we're a mortgage company. Obviously, we established in 2004. We are naturally a traditional retail shop, but excited because we're actually getting ready to launch our wholesale division and to be able to give back to the broker community. We're currently licensed in 30-some states with physical offices in 11 states. And honestly, just seeing some tremendous growth. I know Kiran pointed out a couple of important things about us where we're 24 to 48 hours in underwriting and a heavy push in technology. We're just excited. We're excited about what this business brings to us and where we're going with it and all the partnerships that we've made. And honestly, what you've done with having these women, these leaders in our industry on this panel has been great, because I'll tell you, these wonderful ladies are the future of our business and amazing leaders.
Absolutely. I see that, from doing this, a lot of the women are bringing not only the passion and, everything that they have for the business, but they're bringing the warmth of, togetherness and family, and, they're creating a whole new culture, within the mortgage business. And that's what I love. And that's something I'm seeing over and over with, everyone that's, spoken today.
Yeah.
But yes, I want to thank you very much for being a sponsor. Like I said, if it isn't for, sponsors like you guys, we wouldn't be able to put on events like this and especially make them no cost for people to join and learn. And, I've been doing these for couple years now, and it just happened to be, we were really getting them going, and then the pandemic hit. So, it worked out well that we can bring, the best in the business together and share and educate, those that, can't go out to, these events that used to happen, seem like, monthly across the nation.
The one thing I'll leave the audience with is that the one constant in our business is that things are always changing. And for them to take the time out right now and be a part of this and to spend their day and even afterwards, the ones that are gonna review this, to learn is really important, because as our industry changes, it's important to stay in the forefront of it. And for us, the veterans that have been in their 20 plus years, we've seen the crisis of '08, what's happening now. I mean, it really goes a long way to say that, hey, we're putting time in to maneuver the ship and not just following the market where it's going. So good job there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they say, now is what you do now is gonna be 2 months from now the results are gonna show. So things may be great right now, but what are you doing to make them great 2 months from now? So it's important that people tune into this kind of stuff and take notes and implement. It's easy to sit down and listen to somebody talk for 6 hours, but if you don't implement it, it's pointless. So we just encourage that people watch, people listen, take notes, implement something starting today that you learned from these amazing leaders. All right. Well, hey, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll definitely look forward to hearing more from you guys in the future.
Thanks, Mitch. Appreciate it.